In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a single leg glute bridge with an arm and leg reach. The exercise looks like this, but I'd like to break down the anatomy and talk about how to incorporate it into your practice or into your physical activity. Let's check it out. Before you do this one, it's good to work on just a normal glute bridge that's laying down, both feet on the floor, and then lift the hips and squeeze the butt as hard as you can. So, and by the way, that cue, a lot of yoga teachers try to say relax the glutes when you're in a bridge. Makes no sense at all. When you're bridging, the action is hip extension. Hip extension is when the leg goes behind you. And in order to do that, the strongest muscle in your body that actually performs that activity is your glute max. So it makes no sense at all. It would be physically impossible to genuinely relax the glutes when you are in a bridge position. Just not possible. So once you've done that and you're ready for these single legs, then you would first progress to just a single leg bridge. So you would plant your feet, draw your shoulder blades back, get a nice stable position here, and you would begin to lift the hips and squeeze the glutes nice and hard to get that extra little bit of pressure. And by the way, we have seen that Dr. Brett Contreras has done studies on the glutes where they measure electrical activity, EMG activity of the gluteus maximus muscles, and they found that one of the positions that created the most activity in the glutes was this position, essentially with the knees pressing out, that we got really, really high activity out of the gluteus maximus muscles. So let's use it and let's get that extra little oomph, because we didn't get a lot of activity at the bottom of this bridge or in the middle, but we got a lot of muscle activity out of the top of the bridge. So please use that extra little squeeze, and that's where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck. Now, the single leg bridge will be with the hips lifted. You get that, you establish that position, then toe heel one of the feet in. So I'll start with my left foot. I toe heeled it in towards the center line, and then keep the hips pressing up as I lift the opposite knee and straighten it up towards the sky. You would practice holds here, and then you would, of course, practice the same thing on the other side. Once you get some muscular endurance with that, then you're ready to do the exercise that is the subject of today's video and that I showed you at the beginning of the video. And that is that we're going to lift up into a normal bridge, toe heel the left foot in, we'll start with this side, squeeze the butt to get that extra bit of hip extension and gluteal activation. Reach the right toes towards the sky, reach the left arm towards the sky, and then we're going to keep extending through the hips, so don't lower down, keep the hips lifted as high as you can, and then just reach the arm and leg in opposite directions while keeping the hip lifting up as hard as you can. And we're just hovering. We don't actually set them down. We don't set the arm and leg down, we just keep them hovering, and then reach back up. Take a breath in and exhale. Actually, I would do it the other way. So come up to the top, take a breath in as you reach, and then exhale as you come back to center. Okay, so inhale as you reach, and exhale, come back to center. Set the foot down, set the hips down, and then we would do the other side. So plant the right foot, especially, we'll lift up, toe heel that right foot into the midline, squeeze the butt cheeks. It's really hard as you start doing this to keep the hips lifted, but I want you to try as hard as you can to do that. Get the hips up, reach the left toes towards the sky, reach the right hand to the sky, plant your left hand on the floor. Now, we're gonna take a breath in as we reach, so breathe in, reach the hands, but keep the hips lifted. Don't set the arm and leg down, and then exhale as we lift them back up straight to the sky. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come back to center. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, come back to center. Set the foot down, set the hips down, And you can perform that activity in that sort of vinyasa flow, as I just demonstrated. Or you don't have to do it with the breath. You could do it just as simple repetitions, but I really do prefer to use the breath. It helps to stabilize through the abdomen, and it helps to focus the mind on the activity that you're doing. So even when I lift weights, I like to incorporate breathing because it helps me to turn something that could just be a real, bro out kind of activity and make it a mindful activity. There's no reason that weightlifting can't be a mindfulness activity as well. In fact, really any activity could be a mindfulness activity. It's about the presence of mind that you bring to the activity. It's not about the activity itself. So that's why I prefer the breathing with this activity. Turn it into a vinyasa. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time.